Today we're keeping it very simple. Just a cute little gloss. Nothing fancy. Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb is the one. Hi guys, welcome back to the Pretty Bookish channel where we talk all things books all the time. My name is Noble Kanya. Welcome if it's your first time here. Welcome back if you're an OG and you've been with me for a while. So today I will be doing the video that I promised you guys I would be doing for you monthly, and that is my most anticipated releases for March. So it's a weird one because March for me, I don't think I'm that excited about as many books as I've like previously been. For some reason I'm in a book buying slump. I know that sounds like, girl, what? But like I haven't been really like moved to buy quite a few books lately. Like nothing is like really exciting me. This month I think I only have like 3 or 4 that I'm like super excited about, that like yes, and most of them I think are series or continuations from previous books. The other 2 that I'll probably mention are books that I've been eyeing, I've been seeing on social media, and I'm thinking about it, but like it's not something that I've just like been waiting for, like some of the ones that I'm going to talk about. Some of them I've been like waiting for since I read book 1, and if you guys know, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, so I'm just gonna run you guys through those books that I'm super excited about that are coming out this month. So yeah, let's get into it. Some light admin before we start. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram on @prettyxbookish, like, comment, share, follow, all that fun stuff. Tell your friends' friends, tell your grandmother to subscribe to my channel, tell everybody. Yeah, so let's get started with my most anticipated releases for March of 2021. So March, the first book. If you know me, if you follow me on Instagram, if you've watched any of my other videos, especially some of my romance ones, hint hint, you know exactly what I'm excited about, exactly which book I am just like, that I'm like so glad is coming out, and that is Act Your Age, Eve Brown, which is the 3rd book in the Brown Sisters. I think it's a trilogy from Talia Hibbert. You guys know Get a Life, Chloe Brown is like my favorite romance book ever, and take a hint, Danny Brown, I absolutely loved it. Danny and Zaf were like, oh my god, they were so sexy and so cool, and I love Zaf, but also Redford for life. Okay, so this is the 3rd book, it's the 3rd sister, so this is Eve Brown. So the description in the book is kind of like an enemies to lovers thing. So Eve is very chaotic, she's got hella chaotic energy, she's always like this is pity, like she's always like, everything is just happening all the time. She doesn't have like a lot of control in her life, things are always going wrong, she's like super clumsy apparently. And then the guy who is the main character, I actually do not know what his name is. His name is Jacob, and Jacob is like super in control. He's one of those people who like needs things to run at a specific time and specific place. So apparently what happens is that like, so Danny applies to be a chef at his like B&B, and he's like this really type A guy, and then he sees her walk in. Danny got purple hair, Danny a whole ass mess, and he's just like, sis, by the way, this is on the back of the book, this is not a spoiler. And then he's just like, no, not you. And then like she leaves, and apparently she accidentally hits him with her car, and I'm just like, I'm so here for this. This plot sounds really fun, and I think it'll probably be as steamy. I don't know what Eve's age range is. I don't know how old she is, but I think it'll be slightly like lighter and like a little bit like younger than the other 2, because obviously I think isn't Chloe's the oldest, and then Danny's the middle sister, and then like Eve is the young sister. So I don't know how old she is, but she's probably in her 20s. Anyway, so that one, you know, super excited about. I don't need to say more. That is an absolute must purchase. That is honestly that series. Do you know what? In my head, I'm thinking, I hope this is not the last one. I am honestly okay with like them discovering that their dad had an affair, and they have like long lost 3 more sisters, 3 more Brown sisters somewhere. And then like we have a whole new series. Like I'm here, Talia Hibbert, girl, think about it. Like that's also an option. So yeah, that's the first book I'm really excited about. So the second book that I'm super excited about is the book that is probably, I think it's #1 on the Goodreads most anticipated lists for 2021, or for March 2021. This is the most anticipated book in YA land, and that is Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. Okay, so everybody knows that I'm a Cassandra Clare fan. I also love personally, Magnus and Alec for life. Like, that's my favorite couple or whatever. So I read the Mortal Instruments, and I did not read the Infernal Devices and the other series. And then I went to Last Hour when Chain of Gold came out because the cover was so pretty. And last year, like, I got it right before lockdown. So I was just like, okay, I'm just going to read this during lockdown because I need something thick and chunky to dive into. It was so good. I think I gave it like 3.5 stars. It was just a bit long, but like it's whatever. But like the actual story was actually really, really good. I really, really like that book, and I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen with Chain of Iron. I love Cordelia. She's probably one of my favorite main characters from Cassandra Clareland. I love her so much. She's just so kind. Like, she just seems like such a good person. Not like Nesta, who y'all are standing on A Court of Silver Flames. By the way, I still haven't read that book. I still need to. But like, Nesta is like, Cordelia is like the anti-Nesta, right? But she's still super strong. She's still super got her shit together. She wields a sword, man. And I'm just like, love Cordelia. James is going through it because James is being bamboozled by some other girl. You guys know, if you read Chain of Gold, you know what it is. So this is not really a series. So I'm super excited. As I was saying, this is not really a series or a book that you're going to get excited about if you haven't read the rest of the universe. But if you're part of Cassandra Clare fandom, then you're probably really excited that this book is coming out. I am hoping to get it at this point, some point this month. I already have like, I want to get, like, I was thinking of getting the hardback, but I think I'm like Chain of Gold, I don't have the hardback, so am I going to go get the collector's edition? But anyway, that's not what you guys asked for. So yeah, that's the second book that I am super excited about that is coming out this month. The next book that I'm thinking about, I'm kind of on the fence about, but it sounds like something I'd really enjoy, is What's Mine and Yours by Naima Costa. So this book I've seen all over Bookstagram, especially Black Bookstagram. A lot of people are reading this book. I've seen a lot of people get asked, a lot of people really starting to get into this book. And so Naima Costa wrote, I think, Halsey Street, that other book that was really, really popular when it came out. So this book is basically like, not your typical, but like kind of your typical exploration of race in America. So I think it's set in a town where they kind of, racial integration is happening in schools, and some people are for it, some people are against it. So, and then there's teenagers involved, and like they are becoming friends, and like their parents are like, no, do you know, that kind of thing. It's giving me that kind of vibe. And so I'm not sure yet 100% what I think about, because I'm not really in the mood for something super heavy. So I think I'm going to wait on this one, but it's one that I definitely still have my eye on. So that's why I wanted to come and mention it, because it is coming out this month. So if you're interested in something like a little bit heavier, something that explores race by a writer who's really, really like well beloved by Bookstagram, like people think she's a very good writer. I haven't read Halsey Street personally, but I've heard very good things about it. Then that's another one. So that one I'm going to probably put on my list for like, if anybody wants to send it to me or gift it to me. Hi, my parents. Guys, someone told my mom to buy me this book. But just generally, this is a book that I'm just gonna put on my radar and see where, like, see a little bit more reviews and see how everybody feels about it. But generally, this is a book that I also have my eye on for this month. So the next book that I am very excited about as well is called Red Island Queen by Andrea Lee. This book is set in Madagascar, and I have never read a book that is set in Madagascar, and it's one of my goals to read books from, or set and written about, and set in different African countries, and also by different African writers. So this one I just thought sounded so good. So it's about a woman, I think her name is Shay. Yeah, her name is Shay. So Shay's husband Senna decides, oh, he's just gonna build her this like phenomenally sprawling house in Madagascar. He just makes the decision. So she moves to Madagascar, and they have this, like, she's American, and so then they have this really sprawling mansion, and then it's about how she looks at the environment around her and how she embeds herself into kind of the society of the place and the people who live there, and the rivalries and all the drama happening, and how as she starts to have children and her family grows and she becomes embedded in this community, how she grows, and how like what's the word I'm looking for? And how like they experience the space, and how they grow, and how they interact with their surroundings, and how Shay herself finds herself and kind of gets more in touch with her heritage and her African ancestry through this experience of living in Madagascar. I'm giving you a very, very me kind of explanation, but also go to Goodreads. I actually put a description below with a link to the actual description on Goodreads if you don't like how I'm like rambling about the book. But yeah, so that's basically what it's about. as I said, I've never read anything by Andrea Lee. I've never read anything set in Madagascar, and the cover of this book is absolutely beautiful. And I just thought, you know what, this sounds like a fresh new voice, a fresh new writer, and I'm really excited. This I've had on my radar since last year when I heard that it was coming out, and I was just like, yes. So that's another one that I actually probably am definitely going to get, because this one sounds like something like it reminds me of We Are All Birds of Uganda, which just came out of nowhere. I actually just ordered myself a copy by Murky Books, and I was just like, this sounds fresh, it sounds new, it sounds like something I haven't read before. So that's another one that I'm really excited about coming out this month. So the next book that I'm really excited about, guys, it's a romance, and I know I said like I was taking a romance kind of hiatus, but I feel like I'm back in the groove. I feel like I'm ready to start reading romance again, and this seems like right up my alley. It is Accidentally Engaged by Farah Heron. So this book is about a girl named Rena, and Rena's life is in a shambles. Her career is like basic. She doesn't really like what she does for a living. She's single. Her family, so she's a Muslim girl. Her family's all up in her business about her being a single. They try to get her married to start her family, have kids, that whole song and dance. And all Rena wants to do is bake bread. She's like kind of like a bread connoisseur. She likes to experiment and make different kinds of bread. She actually wants to bake bread for a living. So then this guy, I think his name is Naji. What's his name? Nijan. His name is Nijan, right? Guys, I'll tell you now. I should have looked. Why didn't I look this up before? I actually wrote that. Nadim. So this guy named Nadim, her family hires him to work in the company, in the family business. And then her dad strategically moves Nadim across the hall from her, so that kind of like trying to match make, as dads do apparently. But like Nadim is super hot, and he's like British, and like he likes eating her bread. So like it's one of those things where she's just trying to fight it. But then also what happens is that this competition is announced, where they're giving away kind of like internship or a cooking course at this elite like baking academy. So it's a couples competition. So she kind of convinces him to, like, for them to pretend to be engaged so that they can enter this competition, and he's all on board. So it's one of those things where she's trying to fight it, and it's like a fake relationship, fake lovers trope where they end up actually loving each other or whatever. So that sounds like such a vibe. I'm just like, yeah, it just sounds like something I'd be really interested in. And it's going to be a great book like to kind of palate cleanse and to read, to kind of stop all the like hectic bits that I have, because I have quite a few books that I need to get through this month, and a lot of them are like high fantasy and hectic fantasy. So it's going to be a nice like filler book for the month. So that's another one that I'm excited that's coming out this month. Okay guys, so the next book, I'm so excited about this one because this one sounds so good. I have been waiting for this book since I read the synopsis last year. It is How Beautiful We Were by Imbolo Mbu. Imbolo Mbu is back with the second book. She is highly beloved by everybody. African lit people love her, mainstream readers love her. So Imbolo Mbu's new book is set in a fictional African town called, it's called Kosawa. So it tells the story of this community that is living in fear amidst the kind of environmental degradation of their environment brought about by an American oil company that is drilling for oil in their neighborhood. It talks about how it explores how there are children, like how the kind of crops are dying, children are dying from drinking toxic water, and the diseases that are emerging, and how people are living, especially the small village of people who live in agricultural towns, are suffering from this environmental degradation. It's kind of an exploration of the ramifications, the like individual real life ramifications of the kind of capitalist greed that comes with, and the hyperconsumption that we have in this world. And I love that this story is set in an African country, because I think a lot of the time people forget and people don't pay attention to the fact that the people who are the most impacted by global warming and by the environmental impacts of capitalism are usually people in the global south, are usually people who live in small villages and small towns and in the rural areas, and people who farm, people who live off the land, people who subsistence farm. These are the people who are most affected by the shifting climate that's happening. So I think this is going to be such a good book. I know Cindy is actually reading it now and she's like loving it, and I'm so ready to read this book because I think it's going to be really important. And I think it's also, I love that it's going to be set in a fictional world, because I think it's going to humanize this topic and give it a lot more depth. So I'm really, really excited about this one. This is one of the few that I was like really, I like need to have it. I'm really happy that this book is coming out, and I'm excited to read it. So that is the next book that I'm excited about that's coming out this month. And then the last book that I'm thinking of getting this month that has been on my radar is Can't Take That Away by Stephen Salvador. It is a queer YA novel about a gender queer teen named Casey. No, his name is Kerry Parker. So Kerry Parker he's got a great singing voice. He's always wanted to sing, but he struggles with kind of the confidence to do so because he lives in this environment where, obviously being queer, he is bullied and he is ridiculed and stuff like that. And then he kind of meets this other, I think, what's the name of the guitarist that he meets? His name is, I actually have this written down. His name is Chris. He's a singer-songwriter, and through exploring their relationship and their kind of interactions, Kerry starts to get the courage to kind of fight back against his school administration. It's giving me Prom vibes. You know that book that also is a movie on Netflix, kind of like challenging the school administration's stance on certain things that are very, very like exclusionary and anti-queer. So I am looking forward to this book as well. I just love queer YA in general. So this is another one that I'm looking forward to. And I hope it's as good as I Wish You All the Best by Mason Diva, because that one for me was one of my favorite queer YAs. So yeah, that's another one that I'm looking forward to. And that's the last one that I'm going to talk about today that I was looking forward to reading this month. Right, so that's the end of this video. Those are the books that I'm really excited about that are coming out this month. Some of them I'm gonna be like ordering the day of, others I'm still on the fence about, but I just wanted to show you guys so that you guys can also put them on your radar and have a look and see what you think about them. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it instructive. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram on @prettyxbookish. Like, follow, comment, share, all that fun stuff. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.